Holy moly. It feels like I've just been punched back into my seat, like punched in the chest. That was something. Today I'm on a coffee run, guys, and I've been given this modified Porsche 996 Turbo to take out for the next few days. And so my plan is to spend some time with this and maybe grab some coffee. Of course, now I'm stuck behind this agricultural van and trailer. Let's see if we can get past this. Now, it's been quite a while since I've been in the seat of a 996. My first Porsche, you may remember, was a 996, so this certainly brings back good memories of being in a 996. It has a very classic feel to it, and I always remember when I first bought my first Porsche, and I was telling people, you know, I've bought a Porsche 911. Everybody always said to me, is it the turbo? Is it the turbo? And well, sadly it wasn't. But now, many years later, probably 12, 13 years later, I'm finally in the seat of a 996 Turbo. It's not mine. It has been very kindly loaned to me for a few days by a man called Claude, who is actually selling the vehicle very, very soon. So if you want to see, or if you want to find out a bit more information about this Porsche 996 Turbo, I'll pop some information in the description below this video, the specs, what work's being done to the car, ultimately the price as well. I will talk about the price towards the end of the video as well. But I think for me over the next few days, as I say, is just to get out into the open like this, enjoy the 996 Turbo and really get to know the car. But you know, it feels like I'm driving something proper. It feels like I'm driving something really classic, and like a fine wine, the 996 Turbo has aged really, really well. It has been modified, not crazy modified, but it does have a Markski Tune and a whole host of other sort of upgrades, let's say, like upgraded DO88 intercoolers, and it's now pushing out around about 500 brake horsepower. And when you put your foot down, it's just unreal. Like, I've driven fast Porsches, I've driven the GT3 996, and that is nowhere near as quick as this. These cars are just built for brute power, brute speed. And yeah, you know, they're not as agile around the corners, they're not as planted as you would like it to be around the corners. But that doesn't matter, because when you have a straight piece of road, you know there's going to be pretty much nothing out there that can keep up with you, and that's exciting. And you do have to be so on the ball with this, because when you put your foot down, it almost feels like a non-event, and then all of a sudden the turbos just kick in, and it's absolutely mental. It almost like propels you into a different dimension, something that you're just not used to at all. It's like, how do I explain it? It's like you've got to try and stay alive. You can't breathe during that acceleration when the turbos are whizzing away. You just have to wait till the event is over, and then finally you'll be able to take a breath again. It's just, oh. So as I say, my plan for today is to just head out onto these open roads and get some beautiful views, and just get to know the car, get lost in the car, and then ultimately grab a coffee somewhere. Do need to take it a bit slower over those cattle grids, and then we can get back on the power. You may be able to hear almost like a bird cheeping. It's this passenger seat. If I put my hand on it, it stops chirping and cheeping. It's quite annoying. It's a 22-year-old car. It's not without its little rattles or vibrations or even issues, which the car does have a few. So Like I say, I'll try and mention those if I get the chance, but everything will be in the description. This is a nice little village called Stanhope, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But it's hard to believe that this car is now 22 years old. It has 119,000 miles on the clock, and I know the owner has put a lot of time and a lot of effort into this car, which is why it drives as good as it does for a 22-year-old car. It really is such a phenomenal car to drive. It's art as it sits. I don't know much about art in the real world, in any other walk of life, but I do know a good piece of automotive art when I see it, and this definitely represents that. Now, normally what I'd love to do when I pick up a car on a coffee run is do an exhaust check. The Turbo though is not well known for its really good exhaust sound. It does sound nice and it ticks over nicely, but it doesn't have anywhere near the great sounding exhaust that a GT3 does, or like a GTS. But still though, putting my foot down while I try to get an exhaust tone really does put a big smile on my face. There's just nothing else like it. Nothing else like it. So let's talk about the price of the car. The owner is asking for around about £33,000, which me personally, I think it's a hell of a lot of car for the amount of money that you'd pay. I think future values of these will definitely go up in value. Don't hold me to that and don't ask me for a time frame. But the very fact that you can get one of these for, you know, just over 30 grand is amazing. It's just mind-blowing, in fact. Yes, it's an older car. It comes with, you know, running costs of an older car. They are a little bit expensive to run, but what a phenomenal car and a phenomenal experience these cars are. I'm stuck behind a Sunday driver again, unfortunately, which means I can't open the throttle up. Yeah, so thanks again to the owner of this car, Claude, for allowing me to take it out and drive it for a few days. It's been a lovely experience, and as I say, if you are interested in maybe picking this car up, in the description I'll put a full list of all of the good things and the bad things, the price, and some contact information in there as well. I'm going to try and find a place to pull over. Yep. That was pretty interesting. I just pulled over on the side of the road here out in the Dales to get some good pictures of the car, and as soon as I pulled over, another guy pulled over with his big fancy camera asking if he could take some professional photos of it. So we've just been spending the past 10 minutes doing that. He's going to send them to me. Hopefully by the time this video goes live, I will have some of these pictures. Things you see and the people you speak to when you're out driving a Porsche Turbo.
We went to